we finally have Football Manager 2026 gameplay. So let's take a look at it, shall we? And this is already looking pretty impressive. Right. Let's just stop there for a second. We're 12 seconds in. Let's stop there. And first of all, the first thing we have to do is compare Football Manager 26 to Football Manager 24. So this is the kickoff of a match, clearly. You've got Arsenal against Newcastle here. And on the surface, you think, that doesn't look actually that amazing. I mean, granted, it's not like a FIFA level sort of graphic style or anything like that. But Dr. Benji did just tweet out as well this picture. And it genuinely is night and day, the difference between FM24, which is this, and FM26, which is this. So yes, it may not look like FIFA or UFL or other football games out there, but it's a hell of a lot better than it was 2 years ago. A big part of this is certainly going to be down to the lighting. If we go right back to the start of the trailer, when they've got the stadiums here, they're obviously showing the different kind of lighting scenarios that they've got going on here as well. So we've gone from like midday maybe, to a very bright afternoon with a bit of shadow from behind the goal there as well, to a little bit more overcast as well with some shadows across the pitch. So you've got different types of lighting there, which is really quite interesting. So they've obviously put a lot of effort into the lighting, which does make this look a lot better as well. One thing I will say is, in this trailer, they don't include any nighttime shots or snow shots or rain shots. So that's maybe something to just think about a little bit. You know, there's other scenarios in which a game could take place and it could look very different as well. Then we have this little section with the stadiums, and I'll be honest with you, the stadiums don't look an awful lot different to how they looked in previous games, but that's not too important. Stadiums looking nice is a nice to have, and we'll talk about it a little later on in the video. But this does also give us a nice bit of a close-up here of players in lovely Premier League kits. They're showing off their Premier League license as well. A lot of comments on a short that I did a couple weeks ago about the initial reveal trailer was they have EAFC on the game. And people saying, why have we got EAFC on there? It's because EAFC sponsor the Premier League and EAFC are plastered all over their branding. And so when you're buying the Premier League license, you've got to have EAFC plastered on there as well, because that's what it is in real life. So you've got to have it replicated as it is in real life. But yeah, I like how the kits are looking. Now we get to see a little bit of the actual gameplay. And already, in this first bit of a clip here, this is really interesting. We don't get to see it very well because the edit cuts, but number 14 here, for whoever's playing in blue, I'm guessing Chelsea, flicks it behind his heel to pass it into the on-running player, and then you can see the player moving, shifting their weight around. It feels like these players actually have weight in their bodies now. Remember like FM24, and it just looks, players look very janky moving around, it doesn't look all that spectacular. This now looks like there's been some real effort being put into how players move and how it actually is presented in game. It looks so much more fluid and smooth. This is a huge step up, and I guess part of the reason they've moved to Unity so they can actually incorporate stuff like this in the game. Again here, the player putting the cross in, his momentum keeps him moving forwards as well after he's kicked the ball. I think in FM24 you wouldn't see that. They just kind of like weirdly just kind of like stop on a dime kind of thing. Momentum carries him through, there's player weight. This is really interesting. Really nice ball physics there as well. He's obviously taking a left-footed kick across the pitch and it curves quite nice in the air. So some good ball physics too. I feel like I can't really see what's going on. I had no idea what was going on there. They've got this richer atmosphere text on the screen. He's playing a left-footed ball over the top, isn't he? But it kind of gets in the way. So I've no idea what's going on there. But there's some very nice slide tackle animations there. Obviously, again, they're putting a lot of effort into the new animation systems and how players move and the weight of the players. And that was really nice to see, actually. Oh, that's a really nice overhead kick as well. So obviously, they've got a bit more variation in player movements as well. And this, I think this probably, looking at it, yeah, keeper makes a good save there. But that really highlighted the player weight and movements, and it's so much better. One reason for that is because in Football Manager 26, I know for a fact they're using something called volumetric player animations, I think, where essentially they've got cameras at actual Premier League matches scanning everything every player does to create animations out of it. I know previously they'd had members of the Match Engine team wearing like a motion cap suit and running. And these guys aren't professional athletes in a professional setting on a pitch, whereas this new animation style, it all comes from data taken from actual matches, from actual footballers at actual high-level games. So this is why it looks so much better. That free kick looked very nonchalant, didn't it? Considering it's just hit the crossbar, it looked very much like he's just tapped that a little bit. It's like he's not even bothered. He's just kind of... Maybe that's a little bit... I can nitpick there a little bit where the animation wasn't so brilliant, potentially. But I'm not a professional footballer, so maybe that is all you have to do to take a free kick. But these are some really nice animations. And actually, graphically, I know I was saying it's a step up as well, but I know these are like 9 squares that are quite small on a screen right now. And whatever quality they have recorded this in, it's not the highest quality because it's a little bit blurry, I'll be honest with you. It's not the... We'll show you some screenshots in a minute, and the screenshots are way high quality, but this particular one here on the left, that actually looks like it could be a screenshot from a dodgy stream site of an actual Premier League football match, for example. That actually does look really good, that one, to me. And actually the one above it as well, if you ignore this player in the blue, you can kind of see his face and it doesn't look very good, does it? But the keeper on the floor and the ball on the net, that looks like it's like a screenshot taken from something, like an actual match. I mean, take it with a pinch of salt what I'm saying, obviously, because it is a video game and this is obviously very small screens. And if you zoomed it in properly, it'd look like a video game. But they're on the right track here, definitely. Here's a free kick taken, back of the net, change the story. It always makes me laugh, all these kind of bits of, I don't know what it even would be, what you'd even call it. Just like little taglines you've got all over it, like change the story, change the game. It always makes me laugh. There's not much you can really say about a video game like this, can you? So to come up with taglines like this must be quite difficult. But it does make me laugh when I see it plastered all over the branding and things like that. Football Manager 26. Wish list now. So no release date just yet, which is good. I want to see some actual proper footage of someone playing through, picking their team, going through the new UI menus. That's a big part of it as well, and actually getting into a game. I want to see all of that before I can actually tell you guys to pre-order a game, for example, or say, I'd be comfortable recommending pre-ordering, for example. We've not seen enough yet for me to recommend pre-ordering, especially after last year's debacle. I want them to leave pre-orders to as late as possible. I'm feeling pretty positive after all that, actually. I'm feeling quite good. I have got some thoughts. The biggest thing for me, obviously, is the player movements look so much better now, so much smoother. Players look like they've got weight, they've got momentum, they look just so much more real, and the physics look so much better from the carefully selected bits of footage they've shown us from this trailer, which was taken a few weeks ago, as far as I'm aware. The footage from this trailer was from a few weeks ago, so no doubt they've made some improvements since then. It will only start to get a little bit better towards launch as well. But very carefully chosen so it doesn't look so janky. I'm sure there's parts of the match engine that are going to look a little bit janky like it can do in FM24, but from what I've seen here, the player movements are so much nicer and more fluid. And obviously, this here is FM26, and we said this earlier, FM26 looks amazing, especially when you compare it to FM24. Night and day looks so much better. But this is also what FIFA 10 on the Wii looks like. And I'll be honest, it's very close. It's very close. Now, I know we're not all playing Football Manager for the graphics. You play it for so many other reasons. Graphics comes low down the line. But I am a graphics guy. I've always preferred playing games that have really nice, pretty graphics. And the more real they look, the more it's just a personal preference of mine. So I would love to see this look a lot more like a photorealistic, high fidelity kind of game. We are going to give them big praise for the game looking like this when we've come from it looking like this. But if this was 16 years ago, FIFA 10, if this was 16 years ago when it came out in late 2009, there's still a long way to go in that. So let's just kind of remember that as well. I think it could look a lot nicer. And I think the fact that this is FIFA 10 on the Wii does suggest that. And especially when the players still look like this as well. I would argue that the FIFA 10 players looked a little better than this. Maybe not quite as high fidelity, but you're never going to get full realism in terms of, or likeness, I should say, with the players, because the likeness is a very difficult and expensive license to get, as far as I'm aware. So you're never going to have the Bournemouth players look like Bournemouth players. But if we just go to FIFA 15 graphics instead, right? We're not, like I say, we're not going to get the player likeness, but if I could have the regens looking like this, in this kind of level of fidelity, that would be amazing. Whilst on the screenshot as well, I also think the stadium, again, this is very much would be nice to have kind of thing. It's not that important, but the stadiums still look a bit to me. It just seems weird not having a roof in the corner here for example. This is actually okay as a stadium. This one doesn't offend me. If this is Bournemouth Stadium, for example, it doesn't offend me because it looks fairly similar. It's when we get to this next screenshot here, this looks like it could be like a Liverpool stadium. And yes, it's a big stadium, but which stadium in real life have you ever seen behind the goal 3 tiers, to the side 2 tiers, and then in the corner connecting the two, a 1-tier stand with a weird roof? When have you ever seen that in any football stadium ever? Never, right? I don't know how they do stadium generation, but there's got to be a better way to generate the stadiums than it looking like this. And the most criminal one of these is this one. The roof is invisible. You've got all the struts and supports there. Unless it's made out of the cleanest glass I've ever seen in the world. I know it's not important because it's a stadium that you don't look at, but, when you're trying to show off the new graphics of a game and things like that, this might not be the one to include in a trailer. Use this instead. This looks better. This looks better, to be fair. And you can also see, actually, I kind of missed it the first time of showing you as well, but you've got the new Premier League graphics at the top as well. So Villa versus Newcastle. Looks like the tactics and mentality and stuff has moved to the top left corner, which means this bar at the bottom is no longer the big purple thing that it was before. It's now very small, minimal. That's really, and it gives you more of the actual match to watch and graphics. So that's quite cool. I'm very pleased with what we've seen. It is a big step up from FM24, but when FM24 is starting on the floor, moving, I don't know, a foot higher, it is impressive, but there's still a long way to go in terms of where I would want it to be personally as a consumer and a player of the game. We have got some more information on Steam as well. The information doesn't really tell you an awful lot. It does talk about enhanced player movements, refined animations, and this volumetric animations that we spoke about earlier as well. You've also got the system requirements down here, and I know a lot of people worried about the game looking nicer and then needing a new PC. Well, if you've got an NVIDIA GTX 9060, that was about a mid-level graphics card from about 10 years ago, according to my editor who knows about this kind of stuff. So if you've got a laptop or something in the last 7-8 years, you're probably fine. Excitingly, there's a few screenshots here as well. Now, we saw this one before, didn't we? This was from a teaser trailer a few weeks ago. This is the trophy from a few weeks ago in a teaser trailer. This is brand new, though. This is a screenshot of Liverpool taking a shot against Arsenal. They are winning. And this looks to be a lot higher quality as well than the previous stuff that we saw. So that's quite interesting. You can see the player's weight shifting as well onto his right foot here as he chases down the guy having the shots. Maybe Ekitike obviously balancing himself with his arms out. It just looks so much more realistic, doesn't it? It looks like an actual football match is happening. It's a screenshot from an actual game in terms of the player positioning. I'm not talking about the graphics, but the player's positioning and body movements look so much better. And you get an idea of that here as well. And actually, I don't know if it's a difference in the pitch or time of day, but this looks a lot better than that screenshot, in my opinion. Particularly, I'm going to say Anthony Gordon down here as well. That looks like he's actually there. That looks like actual Anthony Gordon to me. I think maybe this screenshot shows it a little bit as well. Number 24, is that Onana in the middle there for Villa? 24. The shirts are all the actual bodies of the players. There's no sort of baggy shirts or anything like that. And I think you can kind of tell that because the 2 and the 4 look very strange. The top of the 2 looks way bigger than the bottom of the 4. So maybe there's a bit of work to do there in terms of having shirts hang off the bodies a little better and things like that. But that is, again, a very nitpicky kind of thing to make. And then here we've got Cole Palmer putting a free kick in the middle for Chelsea. And maybe the players not close enough together. I think ordinarily you'd see the United. This is Man United defending though, actually. So maybe they are standing off the Chelsea players massively, but you'd expect to see them being tight to their man in this kind of situation. But again, the way he's taking this free kick with his body movements, the arm, the posture, even you've got the players' arms here covered in their crotch and things like that, and the different movements of the players as well. I think this is quite a big step up in terms of how the game looks in terms of the players, the animations, and movement of players. So just 60 seconds here. Hopefully in the next few weeks or so, we're going to get longer videos of what they're going to do with FM24. I'm so excited to see what the new user interface looks like. That's the real big change, actually, in terms of when it comes to FM26, because they're changing from Unity or their own proprietary graphics engine to Unity, and the big part of that was to have a brand new user interface. That's what the biggest change is. This is just the small stuff, technically, really. This is the small stuff. So There's bigger changes still to come. I'm excited to see that. So make sure you subscribe to the channel to get all the information when that comes out as soon as possible. And hopefully it comes out next week because I'm excited now. I'm hyping myself up for FM26. No release date just yet. I'm going to assume it's the same sort of time, around November sort of time, start November, late October, it's going to come out. But I don't want to speculate on that too much because there's literally no information about that so far. I'm just going off what they've done in the past. Let me know in the comments though what you think and let's have a discussion about it. Get down there.